So, gear, technology, everything in between, in betwixt, in utero. I don't know. I kind of went Nirvana with that, and I regret it. So one thing that I have learned as somebody who has been in the tech industry for about a decade now, who's been interested in technology for God knows how long, and is just genuinely interested in, I guess, everything that has to do with electronics. Um, One thing I've noticed is it doesn't stop. It doesn't the yearning, the love, the interest in gaining more gear is just continuously, it never stops. It never stops, and it will never quit. So, because of that, I just thought I'd point out some of the things that are on my, I guess, tech wish list. It's like I don't really have a physical tech wish list, but it's some of the things in a couple different categories that I really, really would love to either get my hands on or to just have the chance to buy. Which, I mean, I'll get the chance to buy once once I buy it. But anyways, so I guess in the video realm, let's start out with video. Video is something that I've always been interested in, but I've never actually gone and done a lot of the the stuff with it until recently, like doing all of this kind of stuff. So, I guess in the video aspect, like one of the things that I would love to play around with is any of the Sony full framed cameras, because I've been recently introduced to Sony as my main recording device because I'm using the ZV-E10, also known as my little powerhouse. And because of that, it's really gotten me ingrained in the Sony ecosystem, in the Sony sphere. And because of that, it really makes me want to try out some of their more robust, full featured cameras. And because of that, it's making me really, really want it. So I would love to have one of the A7 IVs, or maybe even the A7S or the A7S3, because that thing, from what I've heard, is a complete powerhouse when it comes to any sort of video and photography, because I love photography. And on the photography note, the next little thing on my wish list would have to be a medium format camera like a Hasselblad. If anybody has ever been interested in photography, you'll know exactly what a Hasselblad is. A Hasselblad camera is a medium format camera that usually people who are doing like ads for Dior or Gucci use for their very large format, for their very large photos that usually you see in like Times Square and stuff like that, because it's like what, like 100 megapixels on those things, but those things are expensive. Oh my God, those things are expensive, and because of that, they are very, very hard to get a hold of. I just want to try it for like 20 minutes. Like, if anybody's willing to let me borrow a Hasselblad, let your boy know, because I want to play with one. And by play, I mean delicately handle it, take a couple of photos, and print them on the largest paper that I could possibly grab. Oh, God, let me stop now. Okay, so I guess let's go to audio. Audio is our second category of stuff in my wish list, and because of that, yeah, there's really only two things that I want to try. I want to try one of the Deity shotgun mics, mainly because it's like either the Deity or the Sennheiser MK, was it MKH 416? Because like the Deity, I think it was the Deity S Mic 2S, is like a little short guy. From what I've seen of people using that microphone, it's really, really good for the price, and because of that, I would love to try it. But then there's like the holy grail of shotgun microphones, which is the Sennheiser MKH 416. The 416 is, I think it's like $1,000, and because of that, it's be kind of it's become like one of those things that people end up getting whenever their channels get huge because they want better quality. Yeah. Also, last but not least, my holy grail microphone. would be the Neumann U87 AI, because I really, 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 really want to play around with that thing. The sound, that thing has been a recording staple for so many like voice actors and actresses, like song recording. That thing is, not only is it beautiful, because if you've ever seen like any of the U87s, that is an absolute beauty of a microphone, and it just has such a great sound to it. Yeah. Oh, also back to video, because I forgot there was like two other things that I wanted to try. I want a gimbal. I've had my eyes set on the RS3 Mini, which basically I'm just trying to clear funds to get that, because I want to test that out and I want to make a video on that device, because that thing is amazing. But there's so many other ones that I've seen, like was it the was it Xi'an? Um, I've seen a lot of people using those, but the Ronin series has been kind of, I guess, their algorithm for balance is really good. I'm guessing it's an algorithm because it's literally just software controlling motors. It's probably an algorithm, so we're just going to stick with it's an algorithm. But like gimbaled footage looks so good to me. Um, Especially whenever you're doing like product shots like up close using like a really macroed lens, just getting that real nice pan across whatever. And because of that, it's always been kind of a thing for me to want to try that. And also a drone, also looking at DJI for that, because I live in the Pacific Northwest. And the Pacific Northwest, in my opinion, has some of the most beautiful scenery. And I just would love to make different types of just overhead shots of like some of the forest around here, because like I said, it's beautiful here, and it's an absolute just it would be just so fun to make a cinematic little short of video from up high. I'm scared of heights, so I don't want to get on a helicopter. So the second best thing is getting a drone. Yeah, yeah. So I guess continuing on my whole tech wish list thing, a NAS server, like an NAS, network attached storage. And this is something that I've always been on the fence about, especially when it comes to picking between building it or just buying a pre-made like Synology NAS or a QNAP NAS. And it always just ends up going back to building it, and then I forget about it. It's not that I forget about it, it's just that I end up buying something else. But a NAS is something that personally everybody that does any sort of recorded content, it's something that they should invest in, because mainly there's a possibility that some of the shit on your computer could get corrupt and you'd have to restore all of your stuff and you would lose all of your footage, and that is not fun. But if you have like an 8 bay like an unraid server, you can literally just pop in like what like I don't even know how much, like I don't know, like a few terabytes or a few dozen terabytes of storage, and just half that to have like parity, and you can hot swap those things if any of the drives ever go out. Raids, like rated storage, especially if you are production oriented, like rated storage is something that every business needs, especially if you are using if you have a bunch of data. But as a creator, it's good to have that too, because there is always going to be a time where you need a shot from an older video and you don't know where it is, and you realize that it was on a hard drive that failed like 2 weeks ago. And because of that, you're now completely pissed off and you hate everything. But then you realize, hey, I had it backed up onto a NAS. Not only that, but you can back up entire operating systems onto different NASs. It's back up your stuff. If you can't back up your stuff, please, for the love of God, back up your stuff. So I guess like I can't really think of anything else that I would want at the moment. I mean, there's always going to be some other time that I'm just like, ooh, I want this. because that's the nature of being in the tech space as a content creator. You always want more, and you always want to play with more. And I want to get to the point where I can play with these more because as somebody whose day job literally is to test stuff, validation engineer, I need to come up with different ideas that I can use for testing these things because I feel like I have a perspective on some of this technology that a lot of people wouldn't. But anyways, so in the comments, let me know like what's some of your dream technology. What are some of the things that you've always wanted that you feel like it's barely out of reach? Yeah. If you like this, leave me the whole like, comment, subscribe kind of thing. I'm trying to do big things in 2023. And because of that, I would love to hang out with you and show you what I'm trying to do. Anyways, on that note, I love you. I will see you later. And yeah, awkward. Bye.